For this tutorial, I will show you how to create a stop motion film using the free Stop Motion Studio app. This app is available on all iOS and Android devices. Step 1. Create a basic storyline. For this, you don't even need to do a bunch of sketches, but at least come up with the general concept. Think of some characters and some scenes that you would like to create. The simpler the idea, the better. Step 2. Create your set and your characters. It's easiest to start with a 2D set and create everything out of paper. My stop motion set was constructed entirely out of paper. I used different color paper, markers, color pencils. Use everything and anything that is at your disposal. Be creative with your materials, and remember, quality sets and backgrounds make better films. Step 3. Assemble your stand. This corresponds to step 2, which is to create your set. But if you haven't already bought a stand, you have to make one. Many people make stands out of cardboard. I constructed my stand out of 2 household items, tape, and a ruler. So if you don't have a stand, just get creative and make your own. Just make sure that your device is balanced and safe. Step 4. Download the Stop Motion Studio app and shoot your scene. But before we can get to creating our story, set, stand, and shooting our film, we have to first understand how to use the Stop Motion Studio app. And I always encourage students to experiment with the app first and practice animating before starting on their final project. So let's get to know the Stop Motion Studio app and learn how it works. This is my very basic set, and I'm using a miniature easel to hold up my phone. Now we're ready to open up the Stop Motion Studio app and start a new project. In order to create an animation through stop motion, essentially you take a picture, you slightly move your object, and then you take another picture. You repeat this process a bunch more times, and when you play back these images, your object will appear to move. Each photo within stop motion is called a frame. All the frames together make up the frame sequence. When the frame sequence is playing, it looks like motion is occurring. Another important thing to know about is the ghost image. Let's say I place my penny down and I accidentally move it. Well, to keep it consistent with the rest of my pictures, I'm going to have to do something called onion skinning. And onion skinning is basically moving the slide bar up and revealing the ghost image. And the ghost image is just the image of the previous frame. So, if I accidentally move my penny out of place, I will reveal the ghost image and use that to correctly move my penny back into place. Now, another thing to keep in mind is how you will take your pictures. Even if your phone is on a stand, it can and probably will move every time you tap the screen. To get around this, you can either use headphones with volume controls to avoid touching the screen, or you can input a timer. All you have to do for this is press this icon and then set your timer. Now the app will automatically take the photos. I would only advise using the timer if you're creating many movements within the same scene. Going back to our frame sequence, when you look through the frame sequence, you can edit your frames by clicking and holding. You can delete frames, you can copy and paste them anywhere within your frame sequence, you can add a pause, you can even select multiple frames and copy and paste them. So you can shoot your stop motion film in any order you'd like and then just edit it at the very end. You can also go to the settings and adjust your frames per second. 5 is the standard, but you can make it slower with fewer frames per second or faster with more frames per second. So if you're filming an action scene, you can make it faster by increasing the frames per second within your settings. Feel free to check out some of the other features on this app. Unfortunately, many of the cool features cost money, but if you import your project into Photoshop or other video editing applications, you can add music, titles, and other cool effects. And I have a second stop motion tutorial on that if you're interested. If you're creating your sets out of paper, you want to think about what is moving. If I want this man's legs to move, I have to have them cut out. And now I'm able to take a picture, move his legs, and take another picture in order to animate his legs moving. When I play back the frame sequence, he appears to be walking, and if I had drawn in a ground, it wouldn't look so wonky. If you are creating a character's face, think about what's going to be moving. For this girl, the only part of her face that will not move is her nose, and that is the only part of her face that is drawn in. Because I didn't draw everything else in, I'm able to animate the rest of her face. So I'm able to make her look straight and smile. I'm able to make her lips close. I'm able to make her mouth open. Maybe she's surprised, or maybe she's just talking. I'm able to make her eyes closed. Maybe she's blinking, maybe she's sleeping. I am also able to make her look to the right, and I'm able to make her look to the left. Whatever you make your characters do, you need to animate it and think through the pictures that you will take. Now that we've learned about stop motion and how to use the Stop Motion Studio app, I encourage you to create your own stop motion films.